Hey, my name is Sarah. That's Jacob. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. New year, same us. It's our second birthday.
Yeah, we had one
birthday.
episode come out already this year, but like we haven't recorded in a long time.
We haven't recorded
so this is Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We haven't recorded in 2025. Also, like we had to release an episode on January 1st because it was on a Wednesday. And then we had to take a little much needed Christmas break.
And like you said, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We're 2 years old. We're a toddler now.
That's crazy. I remember the first one like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was only 2 years ago. So when I had to sit on that side of the thing, I'll never forget that.
Oh yeah, maybe one day I'll come back to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But we are two now. We're in our third year of Talking Fast, which is
terrible
crazy.
too.
We're gonna hit our 100th episode this year. Lots of like big things will happen
exciting.
this year, which is really exciting. So stick around for that. And if you've been here the whole time, thank you. We appreciate it. One thing that's never changed though is our opening segment. So with that, the first like one that we're recording in 2025, Jacob, what are you drinking or eating this week?
Sarah, I'm going eating for this one. And this one I'm excited about because if we're talking relationship, Haley, she's chef. I'm not even sous chef.
But you
I'm
do
like,
cook.
Yeah, I do here and there. And I'm an okay cook. I'm just like
But Haley's
in
the
the
chef.
kitchen. Yeah, I'm like
surprising.
I'm like the dishwasher. I keep a clean kitchen, but like,
Got it.
But you know what I made? I took the lead on this. Made it took 6 hours to make because I slow roasted up.
6 hours.
Yes, you don't have to do much for most of it because it's just slow roasting. But I made a pork shoulder, so like just a roast in the oven.
Damn.
All day. It was roasting in there. Oh my
Did
god!
you do it on a
pulled
Sunday?
apart. No, I did on a Tuesday. But how nice is this? Like you finished at like 5:36. Things are winding down for the day. Pull a roast out of the oven. Little mashed potatoes. It was like a nice home cooked,
That
warm
sounds delicious,
meal.
actually.
And it was like one of the first times in a while. You know when you like. I know you are also new to making like things that take a long time.
But when
the
you
process
crush
is important.
it,
when you crush it and you take that first bite, and you're like, "Damn, I did good."
No, when I do crush it, I'm like, I made this. I am a chef.
What a good
Where is
feeling.
my hat? Yes, chef, send me to culinary school. Like,
I know.
get
I like
so
threw on
hyped.
Netflix and I was like searching through Netflix and there were cooking shows and I'm like, I don't know where the application is to be on. I was trying to find
Top
find
Chef
it.
Canada. Hello?
I know. Yeah. So it was good, but also
sounds
as
so
like
good.
a kickoff to the new year, you're trying to cook more at
Yeah.
home as well. So I was just proud of that one.
Yeah.
And
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. Shout out. You should try it. You should try it.
It sounds delicious.
I'll send you the recipe.
Okay. I feel like if you can do it, I can do it. Maybe. Don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that like I think you're probably like I'm like a C- student in the kitchen. I think you're like what, a B+? Like I think I can get up to a B+ level.
I would take a solid B+.
Okay, I think I can move up to the B's maybe this
Okay,
year.
okay.
I went from D. So
That's a really good goal.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
what I'm going for.
What are you drinking or eating this week?
Well, since I am a self-employed girly and I spend a lot more time working from home now, I no longer have my daily routine of walking to the office, strategically ordering my coffee at the direct right time so that I can go and pick it up and miss all the people that are standing and like hovering around the baristas and then going into the office. I've already saved so much money. It's actually absurd. But I was already sick of my Nespresso pods 3 days in and I didn't want to order new ones because they're so expensive. And I watched a whole TikTok video about the cost per coffee of like Nespresso versus like it's like $1 something. Whereas like if you just get like ground beans, it's like 10 cents. It's absurd. So anyways, I have had this little French press, like little baby individual cup French press from IKEA forever. And I finally just started using it again and I love it. I look forward to it in the morning. I like wake up, put on some music, go put on the kettle, and then I like go and write my to-do list or like go do my skincare. And then by the time I come back out, the kettle is finished. I like pour over the coffee. And then I have my individual cup of French press.
This is what I like about French press. I do pour over in the morning. And it's like, what I like is that because you have to be more intentional about making your cup of coffee. Who doesn't like a cup of coffee in the morning?
Exactly.
It is a little bit of a ritual
Yeah,
and it helps establish your day. You know, you maybe
100%.
lost the walk to work. Now you have this new routine that you can continue. That's good.
I like it. And I find I actually like take every like sip and like appreciate it more because it feels like I made it more.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm just
And you're
putting
like-
ground coffee into a thing, but it's just like I appreciate
Here's
it
the
more.
other step though. Get unground beans and grind your own beans and then you're talking about.
I give it 3 months before I'm like looking up Breville machines and I'm a full blown barista in my house. It's what's gonna happen. It's the next natural next step.
You know,
I like making it too much.
Yeah, it's so nice. You know, I think we do need though is I think I miss the Sarah Jenkins walk to work, walk and talk. So like
Yeah.
you need to make your cup of coffee with a to-go cup and then
And then
go
just go
downstairs
do a
and
lap.
just like walk around the block or something.
They'll come back. It's just too cold right now.
I know, yeah.
It's just too cold right now. But like tomorrow I'm walking to meetings, so I can just do that. It's like the same thing.
You're right. The good thing about making yourself a cup of coffee at home, once you master that, you're saving so much money.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Sarah, what are you watching or reading this week?
So my book club just met last night before recording this, and we read this book called First Lie Wins. And I'm not usually a mystery. I'm usually a strictly fantasy and romance girl. It's all I read. Mostly romance with a little fantasy, whatever. But this was a mystery thriller. You could call it thriller. I would lean more mystery vibe than thriller, because thriller to me feels like I'd be scared. And I was never scared. You're like rooting for this girl. But anyways, it's on like Reese's book club. It was good. Like the first half like had me so hooked. The second half definitely lost me a bit. I think it was something that would actually be better as a movie than it was as a book, which is very rare. But I think it's tough because they had to like really spell out things, whereas you could get context clues
You
from
just see that visually.
Yeah,
in
100%. That's the one thing about thrillers / mysteries is like context clues that you could get visually. You have to obviously like write them out.
Are there pain points of a book club? Is that one of them? When like you have a book that you're not really like super psyched on. Maybe it's good, but it's not like amazing.
Well, it's kind of like the point of it is that you read genres outside of your own. Because like there's books books that we read this year that I never would have picked to read, and they ended up being some of my favorite reads of the year. This one was like it was good to get me more into the like mystery / like thriller. So now the next book, actually, a girl picked another thriller because she wants to redeem the thriller genre and be like, no guys, like there's better thrillers than this one. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be a thriller girl because I like flew through it. Like I really, and I like it because it feels like a puzzle for my brain because I like trying to figure out who did it or what happened.
Is this a new book too? Is it a movie already, or is it?
No, it's not. It's from a couple years old. I would gladly make a movie though if anyone wants to sell me those rights. But Reese Witherspoon definitely owns them already because it's Reese's book club and that's what she does. But yeah, it was a book that it was great, but I definitely think it would be more suited as a film.
And then okay, wait, we were talking just before the episode started. You also have now a new account on
Fable, which is like
this?
Fable is like Goodreads, but with the best interface possible. It's way better. And it's also not owned by Jeff Bezos. So there's like multiple wins there. Fable, though, lets you create book clubs. So our book club has like our personal like book club that I'm in has a page, and we can like pick like discussion. You can discuss by topic. You can like, then you get your overall group rating. Like we all rated the book last night, and then we get to see the stats of like our average rating. How did we feel about it? I like it way more because then you get a book club wrapped at the end of the year where you get to see all the books you read.
I like having stats for things.
Me too. So we did, and also Goodreads, you can only rate on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point scale. This you can do on a 0.25 scale. So I could rate something
more
7 or 3
subtlety to your ratings.
3.75 as opposed to, because there is a big difference between a 3.75 and a 4, but I always have to round up and rate things a 4.
Or a 3.25, 3.25,
or a 4 to
right?
a 3 is a big difference, but I always have to round it. Like I round up.
Yeah.
So then it looks like I have at least 4-star reads, which is not actually accurate to how I felt. So anyways, go join Fable. We created a book club called Sarah's Book Club, which is separate from my IRL, real person book club. Not that you guys aren't real people, but you know what I mean? Like with my friends.
Your book club and then the rest.
Then the internet book club. So, but I did is I'm just going to be whatever I'm reading. I'll like put that as like the book club book. And then so if you've already read it or if you're like looking to read it, we can discuss it in the comments. And I already see people posting in it. We already have like 400 members, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And they're all posting like what they're currently reading, and people are like starting their own little threads of comments and chats and stuff.
I'm gonna have to get an account and maybe I'll read a few books this year.
Maybe. What about you? What are you watching or reading?
Well, no surprise, Sarah. It's what I'm watching this week. I was super. You know what? We've taken a little bit of time off. We had the holidays before in the span of we haven't been recording here, so I've watched a lot of different things.
I can imagine.
But what I watched most recently, and I was like, this is good. I like this. Is I'm Tim on Netflix. It's the Avicii documentary.
Oh, want to know a fun random fact? A girl I used to be like pretty good friends with in high school, her sister dated Avicii for like 5 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, she was like an Instagram model. She still is an Instagram model. She dated him for like 5 years. And I remember when we were in high school.
She's from high school?
No. I knew this girl through like sports.
Oh,
she lived in a different city. But I remember when Avicii played the Rogers Center, and her and all of her friends got to go VIP, and I was so jealous. It was so sick. Anyway, she dated Avicii, but then then they broke up, and then he died a couple years later.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he passed away in 2018. I forgot. No, I didn't forget about this, but you know, when someone passes away and they're not releasing music and they're not in the public sphere, you kind of just, you forget about it a little bit. It's not top of mind. I watched, there was an original Avicii documentary that was a little bit more critical of his team, kind of painting the picture about about how they forced a lot of shows on him and that kind of stuff, which led to the degradation of his mental health, which is, there's definitely something to be said there for sure. But then this one, which I really liked, was more so on the positive backside of his writing, his music, his collaboration with different artists. And then, it is a sad story because obviously he passes away. You kind of know the end of that story. But I thought it was nice to have a bit more positive of a look at it. And then also the amount of different artists that he collaborated with.
I feel like he was like an early adapter of that too for DJs.
100%. Yeah, there's one scene where he's at like Ultra Music Festival and he wanted to play the entirety of his album True, which was like the kind of genre breaking one where he's working with country artists and all kinds of different things. And he had people play live
That's so cool.
music on stage at Ultra, and like the label reps, I think at Universal were being interviewed for the documentary. They're like, oh my God, we were so nervous, and people were booing because they didn't like it. And then immediately the album comes out and we're like, oh, this is actually amazing music.
Yeah, exactly. They just weren't used to it.
Yeah, anyway, so it reminded me of how good his music was. I loved Avicii. And then also just so many bangers. So many. Oh my God.
Like Nolan's a big Avicii guy. So we should watch the documentary because I didn't know it existed. But 100%. He his entire marathon playlist was like when he needed it was all Avicii.
Yeah.
And did you know that the arena in Sweden, like one of the arenas in Sweden, is called Avicii Arena?
No.
Yeah, they named it after him.
Oh, I love that. Cool? Yeah, definitely check it
out. What is something you are listening to?
Okay. I hope I'm saying her name right because I've only ever heard one song from her. And then what I'm about to say, Emmy Melly, is that how you say it? She's the girl who remember that song a few years ago, I Am Woman? I am woman.
I am fearless. I am sexy. I am kind. That one. Yeah.
Yeah. So huge hit. I'm not going to lie. I put that in the car and I was like, I am woman.
You
for
are
sure.
Woman, for sure.
100%. Anthem. And then she kind of like disappeared a little bit.
As we do with like TikTok songs.
She released an EP in May of 2024. And I went through it earlier today. Because there's one track that I've been listening to it on it. And I went back and I was like, this is a really good EP. And I was looking at the listening numbers for this EP.
Low.
Some of the tracks on it are like 18,000, 50,000. This thing has not been heard. And it's good.
That's what I'm saying though, is like, where the hell do you find these things? Like, I would love if we could do a compilation of every time Jacob starts a sentence with, I found this person's EP. So not an album, an EP. And you find it from the depths of wherever.
Listen, I got to be a tastemaker for Emmy Melody because this is good. It's called Hello Stranger. You have to listen to it. You'll like it. So.
Half the time a song comes into my ether or an artist, either myself or Nolan will go, oh yeah, Jacob talked about this person. Like you get brought up enough that it's like, oh yeah, Jacob talked about this person on the podcast or whatever.
Okay,
and it's
I gotta bring back my playlist.
You have to, because I would love to track it. I would love to track it to see who becomes like really big after. Example, like I know like role models like been like on like social media and stuff, but like he's blown up. But he's blown up at a different level over the past year, and you've been talking about it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I would love you bring your like playlist back just for the purpose of us tracking,
see who hits,
actually who hits and breaks through. Because if you start to like have a ton of artists break through, you're in the wrong industry. You need to be an A&R. Like you need to leave.
But I do think, listen, that it's tough. I feel like now releasing singles, obviously I Am Woman, massive hit, massive. Maybe people could call it a one-hit wonder because you probably couldn't name one other song of hers. But like, I don't know who she's working with. Find someone else.
Find someone else. Find Jacob.
It's got to break through. Definitely check out Hello Stranger EP. There are a couple really good tracks on that. I think it's like 7 songs. It's really good.
Love that.
What about you? What are you listening to?
Well, I'm really trying to, actually, since I've like now like working from home and I'm like by myself like more of the time, I don't like the silence. So I'm listening to way more music in general.
Yeah.
With that, I'm like, Sarah, you can't just keep listening to the Tortured Poets Department and Baggage. Like those are the only 2 albums I listen to, Chelsea Ballerini and Taylor Swift. So this is like a known thing. Like I'm not like reinventing the wheel. Like this is, everybody uses this. I always wondered how people find new music. I had no idea. I was like, there's no radio anymore. How do you guys find new music? And everyone uses like, they're like, oh, well, like the suggested things on Spotify or the daily mix or whatever. So now when I wake up in the morning, I throw on my morning coffee mix or whatever that Spotify like does for me automatically. That's what I've been listening to every morning. And I've already found new music that I like. Do I know the names of the songs? No, but Ceilings by Lizzie.
McAlpine.
Look, that's
Something
an
like
old song, but now it's new to me and I'm obsessed with it now.
Yeah.
And I only discovered it because it's on my morning coffee mix playlist.
Well, that's what I like about those playlists, because sometimes you're gonna get like relatively popular music,
Well, it
but
also
it's not gonna
goes
be stuff that's
through-
in high rotation that you're gonna be overwhelmed by all the time.
I like the mix because it does a mix. I don't know what it's supposed to do of things that you listen to regularly, mixed in with
And
things
then some,
that I
like,
think
side
still like.
stuff.
So then I'm it feels familiar because I still get 80% Taylor Swift. Then the other 20% is mixed. I'm getting a lot of role model mixed in there because
Yeah.
I went through a couple weeks ago and listened to his entire discography.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So now he's getting mixed in there. So I like it as a, look at me discovering new music in 2025.
Here's one tip, and this is like Spotify side quests that you can go on to discover new music, is like when you find that one like Lizzie track that you're like, oh, it's pretty good. Save that maybe, but then just go to the radio of that song then.
Oh, and then it will play
it's
that
like
type of
stay
vibe.
with your playlist. That's your bread and butter. But then when
Yeah.
you find something
Oh,
that's
the radio,
outside,
smart.
outside of your like total comfort zone of what
Yeah.
you're listening to all the time, then just go to the radio of that song and then
Love
just go down
that.
that rabbit hole until it goes,
I
more
love
niche and more
that.
niche. Sarah, something you did this week.
I went to New York City.
Big Apple
It
in
was
the winter.
fucking freezing. Freezing. I'd never been to New York in the wintertime. I've been in the fall,
It can get
summer,
cold.
and spring. First time, it was cold. And it's deceiving because it's beautiful out. Like it's like sunny, like not a cloud in the sky. I'm like, oh my God, like we don't get that here. It's like always gloomy.
Yeah.
And then you go outside and it's like the type of cold where you can't even bring your phone out to shoot a video because like your hand will just like cramp up.
Yeah.
That was the only downside. The rest of it was amazing. I got into the Corner Store, which is like this like restaurant that's like all
Yeah.
over the internet. I went to go see Anne Juliet on Broadway while I was there, and Charlie D'Amelio was in it.
Oh, really?
Charlie D'Amelio was in the musical. Yeah.
As a
She's
cast
in
member, regularly?
She's in Anne Juliet on Broadway right now.
Whoa, I didn't know
'Cause
that.
Anne Juliet is a heavy dance show.
And she's a dance-
And she's a
like,
dancer.
yeah,
She's a
right.
dancer.
I always forget
I can't believe that girl is only 20 years old. I forgot that she blew up when she was 15. And then we're like Googling her age at intermission. And I was
Wow.
like, it
Was she
insane.
good?
Yeah, she's great. She's a fantastic dancer. I don't think her mic is on when she's singing.
Oh, really?
It might be. It might
Controversial
be.
for Broadway.
It might be. But there were times because I watched her like half the show because I was like, just fascinated by it because we were
Yeah.
like sitting so close I could just like see her and watch it. She probably is singing sometimes, but it's dancing is the focus for her. So they put her in a lot of positions that set her up to succeed. Like she's always like the dancer at the front. But I'm not. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe unless her voice is just blending perfectly with everyone else's, which like it might be, but I just am not positive how much she is singing. I don't know though.
Is she like
might
a
be.
lead? Is she like the lead role?
No, she's like ensemble.
Okay.
That's why. Like she doesn't have a speaking role. Like you don't hear her
it.
speak. That's what I'm saying is like there would be no way to know.
Got it. Okay,
like,
maybe
it's on or
then.
not.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's like heavy dance role, but it's great. Like
They
she does,
turn on her mic for once. Like, huh?
but she was actually fantastic. She's such a good dancer. Like I mean, I knew she was a good dancer, but it's cool seeing someone that got famous off of like TikTok. In
New respect.
New respect.
Yeah.
Different level of respect. So yeah.
What
it was
other
good.
what other heavy hits? You went to Carbone as well.
Went to Carbone.
How's that?
Okay, ever talks about the rigatoni? The squash, life changing.
Oh, I forgot we talked about that on Instagram DMs or something.
yeah, we did. No, Jacob, the squash was life changing. Like, go to Carbone for the rigatoni. Stay for the squash.
Yeah, it's a squash. It's a squash.
It's
You're
squash.
big year for squash.
It was crazy. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, I could make this. I couldn't make it, but like, you know what I mean? It was so good.
What was it? Was it like a crema or something? That
It had like, it was like just cream and then this like oil with like all these. I don't fucking know. It was amazing though.
You see any celebs?
Only Charlie D'Amelio. That was the only celeb I saw because I was seeing her in a musical. I didn't see any celebs. I never see celebs
Really?
when I'm in New York. And it pisses me off because everybody else I know always sees celebs
I
in New
always see
York.
people. I literally came 2 inches from crashing into Neil Patrick Harris last time I was there.
That's crazy, but maybe it's because I'm looking for them. Like I want to see a celebrity and I don't. Like I was actually borderline annoyed. Like last time, so I stayed at Hotel Indigo on the Lower East Side, which is like a great hotel. I used to stay there for work all the time.
Really good area
And
too.
yeah, exactly. And then my friend stayed there last time with her boyfriend, and she walks outside and sees Dua Lipa and Count Turner. Is that who
Whoa,
she
wait!
engaged
I'm
in?
gonna go live there.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Do you know how many times I've stayed at Hotel Indigo and never seen a famous person? Then she walks outside and sees Dua Lipa. Are you
What was she
kidding
doing?
me? Just walking on the street. Apparently she lives in that area. Just chilling. She would be a Lower East Side girl. She's so fucking cool. Anyways.
Damn.
So I never see celebs in New York ever.
Should we
Maybe
go on
I'm
a
the problem.
Celeb tour.
A celeb tour. I just can't believe I've never seen them ever. Even like at Soho House, none of those
I
places.
saw JVN before.
I've quite literally never seen a celebrity walking in New York. I actually was getting really anxious at the idea of if I accidentally ran into Taylor Swift, and I didn't want to. I was like, I can't. Or like if she was at a restaurant that we were at, or if like something like that happened, I was like, I can't be in that situation because I'll like have a panic attack. I can't do that. I can't because I can't meet her unless I get to like sit down and talk to her for an hour. I can't.
What if she was sitting in a restaurant and you were seated?
No, I
beside her, like at a table beside.
Vomit.
Did you see the people? There was someone posted on TikTok because Joe Jonas is in Toronto for some reason. People just keep like taking videos.
He knows they're taking videos. Well, like
half of the videos are him just being like, "Why are you taking a video of me?"
Like this is the thing. Like they know.
I want to be friends with Joe Jonas. Joe, if you're still here,
you guys would be friends.
Yeah, come play on my rec soccer team. We'll get a couple beers. I don't know. He seems like a guy who could play soccer.
Good to know. But anyways, that's what I did. What'd you do this week?
Well, actually, throwback to live theater that you were talking about. I went and saw The Lion King.
I'm going this week.
It's so good.
My friend's fiance's in that show.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It is a very cool show.
Had you ever seen it before?
No. But Lion King was the first movie I watched, so it was like a good throwback to my childhood. Music is amazing. There were a couple people that I was like, your voice isn't
like you're Mervish, you're not Broadway.
yeah. Although I think it is the touring company, so like they should be okay. There are a couple of performers though who are like just incredible. Yeah. Incredible.
Wow. I'm
And
excited.
then the costumes and the way that they do people as animals is like
it's so fascinating.
Wildly cool.
I've never seen it. I'm so excited. It's like a bucket list, like Broadway, like musical show. I've never seen it.
Timon and Pumbaa. Oh my God.
Okay, so my improv instructor was the last cut for the meerkat.
I think you'll like that role. Like they're so funny.
But I'm gonna resent that guy a little bit because I wanted it to be my improv instructor.
He throws some tomatoes. But I love live theater. I want to go back. I want to go not go to Lion King, but I want to see more shows.
You need to go, and when you go to New York, see some theater.
I know. Actually, I have seen a lot of Broadway shows in my past. I just haven't gone in the last couple of years. But I was talking to Haley about that. I was like, next time we go, which is going to be in April, actually.
What are you going in April for?
Haley's running a half marathon.
She is?
Yeah.
She's running the New York one?
It's the Brooklyn half. I don't know. I think it's called that.
Haley's running a half marathon?
Yeah, with one of her other friends. She got roped into it.
That's so exciting.
I know. So I'm going as the cheer squad.
Oh, that's so cute. You get to be cheer squad this time. I love that for you. Okay, this is a new one that we're adding. This was Jacob's idea.
I know off the top, sir, you said we don't change the opening segment.
No, and then I realized that we did change the opening segment. We just hadn't changed it yet. So because like what we did and where we went, we kept fucking it up. Like, let's be honest.
And it was kind of the same question.
We kept going back and forth. It was the same question. We're like, we're going to talk about what we're loving instead, because that's more general.
It could be a product. It could be
a product, person, place, thing.
It could be any of the above.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
So what are you loving?
Okay, this is a big one. This is more of an idea, actually.
Oh, I love that. Give it to me.
Spent a lot of time over the holidays in the last couple of days or week, I guess, up at the cottage, which is now finished 99%.
Okay, you're going to say that forever. So yes, it's finished.
Well, no, that's kind of the point. So it's finished a little bit, but what I really like right now is like the little DIY projects. And I know that you probably have, some experience with this at the cottage as well. But one thing we didn't do with our builder that we kind of have to finish up ourselves is like closet organization and that kind of stuff. So I put in the closet, bars to be able to hang clothes this past time. And I know that it's kind of wild. We hadn't done that since August.
Okay.
But it's a thing that I have enough skills to do it. Like I know how to do everything, but it's not something that I do on a regular basis every single day. So it totally breaks me out of my regular routine to go and have to like figure out a problem. And it's like a really small problem because it's a relatively easy thing to do, but I really enjoy doing that. And then setting up some other projects. So I've got some, chairs to refinish, that sort of thing.
The little DIY adventure.
Yeah. The one thing I'm really liking about like little DIY adventures is got to put your phone down. You got to get rid of your device. You're not like super tapped in. I'm listening to a podcast while I do it, but also, I'm figuring out little problems. So that's something I've been loving.
And you're making something.
Yeah, well, that's the other
thing.
It's
like what we were talking about with the food. Like when you do it and you're like, oh my God, I'm so satisfied by this.
Yeah, end of the day, you're like, oh, we just got here today. We have our bags. Oh, we can hang some stuff up now.
Yeah, you're like, I have to put that up.
Super satisfying.
I did that. I love that.
Satisfying.
That goes with what I'm loving because I'm loving my Cricut machine that I got, which is literally a DIY cutting machine. I was trying to explain to the girls at book club last night because my one friend kept going, so it's a printer. I go, it's not a printer. It's a cutting machine. So it's like it cuts. The way that a printer prints on paper whatever images on your computer, this cuts whatever images on your computer. So like words, logos, any of that stuff, and it cuts it into
And
like.
you can use different materials or like.
Yeah, so I got the one that you can do it on wood, light metals, like you can etch things, all of these different things. Yeah, wood.
Crazy.
So it's just so fun to like think of different things. I made myself a little water bottle with my name on it, and then there's just I made my friends some wine glasses. Just like I'm playing around with it right now. There's many different uses for it. What I'm probably gonna mostly use it for is like when I'm hosting like dinner parties or like parties in general. I can make like little different cutout name tags, or I can make like cake toppers, or I can make like
stuff.
Yeah,
that,
or like
sets it apart a little bit.
invitations or things like that. I'm also a bridesmaid now, so being a bridesmaid with a Cricut makes you bridesmaid one because you have to do all the DIY projects for them. But honestly, for like, and I also got the little
Is it fast?
press.
Like how?
Yeah, it's really fast. It's really fast.
I've
Under a
seen
minute,
them
under a
around. I've never
minute.
seen one in person though. Like
I'll have to show you how it works next time we're recording at my apartment because it's like it's fascinating. It's really fascinating when you're like doing it. It's like cool the way it works. And then I also got the little heat press, so then I can like print out
Shirts or
like
something,
shirts
or
and stuff. I could make us custom merch if we wanted to. It's
okay, wait.
crazy.
So you said bridesmaid too. That you become like bridesmaid number one because you can do all of this like personalization.
Yeah, because
stuff.
so I'm saving them money because they just have to buy the materials and I can do it as opposed to Etsy, which costs so much.
What does
money.
a Cricut run someone?
The one I bought, I got it on sale on Black Friday, but they're like $500,
Okay.
600.
But I mean, if you're saving
600.
money on things that you would otherwise
Yeah, you have to buy the vinyl and stuff. But like, if you're gonna use it enough, then it's worth it.
And like
you know
we're
how
talking about, it's a fun project
For sure.
outside
I'm just like, do you know how many times I buy something? I'm like, I could have made this if I had a Cricut.
Why do they call it a Cricut?
I don't know. I have no idea. Cricut.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'd opened the show saying that we didn't change the first segment, and then we did change the first segment. And then the next segment now, we're also doing a new segment. So if you're following, everything's different, everything's new.
This is like when your parents say like, "Oh no, everything's gonna be fine." Actually, we're getting divorced.
Nothing's changing, but we just won't be living together anymore. But that's not happening here. We're not getting divorced on the podcast, but what we are going to do is start talking about some more like trending topics and things that we found interesting in a week. So obviously we do our voicemail segments, which we love. Make sure you send us questions in for voicemail. But we also sometimes just want to talk, like Jacob and I talk about like pop culture and like all of these like big news headlines all the time before we start recording. And then I feel like we never have the outlet to actually talk about it.
It's kind of like the first segment, but like much more expanded and bigger ideas.
And that's where like, yeah, the first segment is mostly like personal to us, but this one is more about like big things that we saw. So what I'm loosely calling this segment is did you see this? Because we'll always be like, did you see that? Blah, 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 blah. Did you see that? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Did you see that? So that's what we're going to call this. And basically we're just going to talk about news segments, whatever. And if we like it, we'll continue doing it and we'll talk about more things. And if everyone hates it.
Or if you like it, yeah.
That's what I mean. And if you guys don't like it and you hate it, then we'll just shut up and never do it again. So with that being said, Jacob's going to kick us off.
I have the inaugural one here. So I don't know if this is going to be a good one or a bad one, but I'm going to try it.
Okay.
This actually is also not even news.
It doesn't have to be news.
I'm going to tie it into something that I think is more of a current trend in like the home design space.
Okay.
So Sarah, have you heard of the unexpected red theory? It is like this design theory that kind of popped up, got popularized on TikTok a year ago. So
Okay.
like early 2024, basically saying, oh, you can totally elevate your space if you have just like a pop of red. We're talking like cherry red, nice, bright, auburny kind of reds too.
Just like in a space.
In a
like
space.
randomly.
That's
Okay.
unexpected. Yeah.
Okay.
It can like really tie it up, can really mature your space a little bit.
Okay.
Which is true. If you see a lot of photos, it does look nice.
Okay.
And this is something that like I've had here and there, you know, pop of a
Yeah.
red Coca-Cola cooler.
Does it
that I've
only
had.
have to be red?
Okay, well, this is my point. This is what I wanted to expand on because what I've seen a lot, I follow a lot of like design, home design,
Yeah.
styling, those kind of creators across social media. And one thing that I'm seeing again and again is like, do you know the clean girl aesthetic in home design, which is basically removing every bit
Color.
of personality, every
Yeah.
bit of color? Let's turn our books around where you only
Yeah,
see the
see,
white
like, the-
pages.
yeah. Oh, I hate that.
Let's try to find like the least bit of personality we can.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be totally out. So forget about the unexpected red theory. It's like
You're gonna mean
expand on that.
maximalism?
Not necessarily maximalism, but like not being afraid of pops of personality is, I think, a trend that I'm seeing.
Like through, and you're just saying that like the unexpected red theory is like.
It's like that
It's
was
like
the
dropping-
the unexpected
entry
red theory
point.
was the entry point
Do you
to a
wanna know what that
larger
actually-
focus on
yeah.
like people being not unafraid to show their personalities in their homes, which I think is so refreshing.
But I feel like you could also see a direct correlation with that with how pop of red became a trend in this past year in clothing and nails
100%,
as well.
yeah.
Like, and I feel like that also goes with the unexpected red theory then, because it's like these girls that have this clean girl aesthetic now will like have a cherry red bag, and it
Which
like
is
you're starting to
yeah,
build
yeah.
it in.
Haley was talking about this too, actually, because what did I do? I got her a bag for her birthday.
Okay.
And I was like, listen, they didn't have the one that you wanted in stock, which was a more colorful one. And I was like, listen, here's the receipt. We can either like go back and get it when they would just have to ship it in. It wasn't going to arrive by the time her birthday was. And she was like, let's return this. No offense.
Yeah.
But I knew that was the point. Because forget about just like blacks and whites and
Want
like
pop of
the
color.
most boring stuff that you can find. Add a little bit of personality.
I love that. You have personality in your home.
Yeah.
I have it in mine too.
I would call myself
I would call myself a maximalist. I look back at photos because like I'm getting all the memories now because I've been in my apartment now for 4 years, which is crazy. But I look back at the photos of like when I first moved in, and just because I didn't have as much stuff yet, like I had no bookshelf and I had no like books out and stuff. And I feel like that's like my apartment decor is like my bookshelves. Like that's like, could you imagine if I had those flipped and just showing the?
Oh my God.
No.
I've done that in the past though.
That would make no
I've done that in
sense.
the past. It's just like, it's not me. But what I really love too, because I did see this week, 2 weeks ago, maybe it became a little bit of a trending sound on TikTok that I forget exactly what it is.
Oh, the
but
one
it's a
about
girl's
showing your
voice.
apartment. Oh yeah, when she's talking about like
She's
I
like,
love
the
when someone's
apartments-
home
Yeah, when
looks
you can-
like
you
they've
walk-
and you can tell the type of person that they
you
are.
walk into someone's
Yeah.
home and you immediately tell exactly what type of person they are.
my
And then it was
favorite.
just like all of these videos of people with actual homes that
Yeah.
you don't see necessarily in Architectural Digest.
Yeah.
They're getting better. But like, I don't know. I just think that people should be more comfortable.
I feel like more people. I think that's starting to become more of a thing. I feel like we went like. It always goes full circle, but yeah, like the minimalistic, like whatever was such a moment, and now I feel like we're coming out of it.
It's such a flip flop too, because I would see people walk into a home that had like zero personality. Everything was white, or you would like remove things, and people like, oh, you have like such an aesthetic home, and it's like,
what?
well, no, not really. If you're looking up just like the definition of what these words actually mean, it's like you're removing everything.
Yeah,
The
it's-
absence of something
so-
is not a personality.
It's the same as like the idea that now, like I don't know if you've seen that with home design, open concept is going out the window now. Like people are removing open concept because open concept was just like a way to try and like make smaller spaces look bigger and like whatever and sell more spaces. But now like everyone's going back into like each room having its own purpose now too, which also goes with that. I feel like the open concept, minimalistic design.
Which I
coming back
almost
into
think
the
like if I was
middle.
going to predict something, I mean like we might get dining rooms in Toronto apartments.
Give it to me. I miss it. That's
Let
what I love.
people have a little table, even if it's small. Let them have a
would
little
love
table.
it.
I know you're doing this, and having people
I
over for dinner
haven't.
parties and that kind of stuff. But I just mean like people entertaining at home. A lot of people just don't have the space because they think, oh, I have to have just a nice white couch, and I have to have
my
like
two black bar stools and like that's it.
Exactly.
And my white couch and my white dressers and my white everything.
Exactly.
No. Out.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay. Well, did you see this? Did you see the Golden Globes?
I did see the Golden Globes.
Okay, so you watched the Golden Globes.
I didn't see the red carpet.
Okay, so what I
but-
want to talk about is like, yes, the Golden Globes, like whatever. You can't also, first of all, people predict like anything about the Oscars based off the Golden Globes because if you look like
Right.
in the past like 10 years, they have not
Doesn't
predicted
line
like
up.
anything unless it's like someone's running away like a Kiwi Kwan, like running away with everything. But like literally every year it doesn't predict anything. But what I want to talk about was the old Hollywood glam. So
Ooh, okay.
I was watching all these like theories and like videos and talking about how the Golden Globes. So there's rumors right now that they are casting for an Audrey Hepburn biopic.
Oh, really?
And then suddenly
This
we
was
had
like the audition?
likes of Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Zendaya, Elle Fanning, all of them, like just to name a few, but there was more, had like old Hollywood, like little bobs with like the old
You think
Hollywood
this was
aesthetic.
like a red carpet audition almost?
100%. Because well, look at Wicked, look at Barbie, look at all these things where so much of like when you get cast in a movie nowadays is embodying the character 365, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like wearing the pink and green all the time or whatever. And I think people are like starting to like dress this way at these major events just to like sneaky try and be like, oh, I never saw Selena Gomez in that light, but then I saw her at the Golden Globes with that old Hollywood glam. And do you want to know what? Maybe she would make a good, like, I should bring her in for an audition, you know?
That's so smart.
I feel like that's what it has to do with. So anyways, I think we're going to start seeing, like, almost how you were just talking about, like, design, like, changes and everything. I think we're going to see old Hollywood glam. It's the same as going backwards.
Yeah, because old Hollywood glam is like, it's big.
Yeah.
It's
like big.
bold.
It's exactly.
A lot of color too.
Yeah. So I think old Hollywood glam is about to, like, make a comeback.
Oh, crazy.
It'll go hand in hand. Like, I think initially it's just starting as people trying to, like, low key audition.
Yeah.
But I think
that's the entry point.
If that's the entry point, but then
exactly,
it's the unexpected red, and then it will become the, like, trend of this
like
year.
that.
So what I'm going to be really curious is if at the Oscars it's the same vibe,
right?
And like this in the Critics' Choice Awards and all of those ones.
Who do you think would play a good Audrey Hepburn?
Lily Collins looks quite literally identical to Audrey Hepburn.
Ooh, yeah.
If you look at her face, I just don't think she's. This is the thing. It's like
I guess it depends how like where they.
What era?
How much? Yeah, like.
But not even just that. It's also depends on your team and just how well they market you.
Yeah.
Lily, girl, get your team out there. Like she looks
Lily
exactly.
Collins,
she looks
true.
exactly like her. But it's just, people are thinking it's going to be Ariana Grande.
What about Aubrey Plaza?
I don't think she really looks like Audrey Hepburn. Is it Audrey Hepburn or Aubrey?
Audrey.
It's Audrey. I said that right the first time. Okay.
Did I say it?
Yeah, I know. I'm just overthinking it now. No, I don't know about Aubrey. I don't think she would look like her. But who knows? And the thing is, like, if Selena Gomez and like Ariana Grande,
Lily Collins is bang on. You're right.
Lily Collins is bang on, but she doesn't have the team. Like, girl, go get in your old Hollywood glam and get out on a red carpet or two.
I feel like she's also she's not unknown, but like she's smaller.
Underrated. I think
yeah,
she's
to go
underrated.
from Galinda to Audrey Hepburn would be wild.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And also,
what about
though,
Timothée Chalamet?
as Audrey Hepburn. I mean, the man can do no wrong.
He's got range.
He does have range. I can't wait to see him perform in SNL.
Did you watch A Complete Unknown?
Not yet. Have you?
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah, it
is he really good in it?
Yeah, I was going in being like, he's gonna be lame,
and he was really good.
Yeah, he was good.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Have you seen in your TikTok comments, Sarah? I saw someone post this.
Okay,
and I was like,
it's not my
true?
personal comments. Okay,
No,
not
yours.
I don't want to go there.
Not yours. I saw someone post this, or a few people talking about this.
Okay,
and it makes so much sense. But I was like, is this true? And then it made me a little sad. TikTok comments.
Yeah.
How many times do you watch a TikTok and you go, let me go to the comments to see if people think the same thing that I think?
Yeah.
They're going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
They've already typed out the comment that I'm thinking in my head. And it's there.
Yeah.
Apparently your TikTok comment algorithm, it has its own algorithm.
Well, that would make sense.
And the comments that you see
would be different
at the top are different from what I see.
Yeah, but
which is obvious once you say that out loud.
Well, because I just think about the fact that when I go and look at a video, if somebody I follow has commented on it, their comment goes to the top.
It's up there. Yeah.
So obviously
it's a
there's
tip
an
off of
algorithm.
like, it's changing. Yeah, that comment is not at the top for other people. But I'm like, the top comments. And anyway, she was talking about, it was a little bit complicated to understand. But anyway, her and her boyfriend had wildly different comments about a video that they had both watched. On kind of a relationship dynamic, essentially, of a guy wanting to spend more time.
And we're talking about a video that probably had like 40,000 comments. It has like
video.
thousands of comments.
It was a huge video, yeah, and like a lot of the comments will have like 6,000 likes or something, and they're totally divided. Of like the guy's in the right, the girl's in the right, and his comments, this boyfriend, this third party couple, the boyfriend's comments were like, yeah, the guy's in the right,
Whoa.
and the girl's comments were like, yeah, you got to dump that guy. And I'm like, whoa, that's wild. Because, like I said, it's obvious when you think about it, but it also made me a little sad because I'm like, damn, sometimes I'll go to the TikTok comments and I'll be like, oh, it's nice that these people in the world think the same as me.
And then you just realize that's also an algorithm.
Yeah,
so
it's not the same.
Well, it's the same way as like when you're any algorithm anywhere, when you're like, oh, how could somebody get elected as president? And then you're like,
100%.
Oh, that's not how my world
like,
is.
Oh, I didn't hear those people talking about it. Yeah, the
And
echo
then
chambers of
they're just
that
in a
we
different
live in,
echo chamber.
and you're just so completely or blissfully unaware of them.
Which can be a pro and a con.
I know. Well, it made me, because I'm aware of it, I'm like, I gotta spend some more time outside just like chatting to people about different things.
Actually get like a vibe check.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the Disney marathons?
I've seen a TikTok like a year ago.
Okay, so I was there actually
attended.
last year during Disney Marathon weekend, like Run Disney weekend. I feel like sneaky, this is so up your alley. So you have to listen to this. Okay, I had to write it out because it's like, it's intense. So I've watched a countless numbers of vlogs of Disney Marathon weekend because I find it so fascinating. I am not really a Disney adult myself, but I find Disney adults very fascinating. And I watch a lot of their content because I find it interesting. So there's 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm about to
explain. Yes, it's in the parks.
Okay.
Different parks. So like 5K might be through Magic Kingdom, 10K might be through Epcot. They're
it's
all
not like
in
it
different
starts
parks.
at Disney and you run in the regular streets.
No. Like you're running through the parks,
Got it.
which leads me to the point where you can get on rides while you're running. Like you can be running a half marathon and you see there's no lineup for a roller coaster and you get on the roller coaster and you can ride the roller coaster
Like
and
you
then
just
you get
have
off. And
access to the whole park?
Yeah, like people do that as like a challenge. Like when
What
the
did you
parks are
do?
open.
Drink around Epcot
Yeah.
and then do that while doing a half marathon?
Well, you could. So, but that's not even the craziest part. There are these two challenges. And I remember last year seeing all the shirts and I was very confused. There are two challenges. There's the Goofy Challenge and the Dopey Challenge. Goofy Challenge is you run the half marathon and marathon. So you run a half marathon on the Saturday and then you turn around and run the marathon on the Sunday.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, that's not even anything. So that's a Goofy. So you get an extra medal. You get like a special shirt when you get that saying you completed the Goofy Challenge. Then there's the Dopey Challenge. Jacob, the Dopey Challenge is you get 4 individual medals because you run a total of 48.6 miles over 4 days because you run the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon and marathon in 4 days.
Do you have to do it in order? Like do you start with a 5 and go out?
You run each race. Like there's 4 races.
God.
These races start at 4 a.m. They don't even start at like a normal time because
Why?
they have to start them so early so that like when
the
the park's
park's
open.
Oh my God. This sounds awful, honestly.
So, but there are people like when you're running a Disney marathon, like
No wonder there's no lines on the ride.
my consensus though from like watching all this content is like they're not running for time. Like
For sure.
Because
it's fun.
There's characters that you can wait in line to meet. There's like
I was thinking about this the other day actually because like
side.
every race is so similar. It's the same. And if you're not running for like, I'm going to get a PR today,
like this
it's like,
one
it
is
can be
like
kind of
that.
disappointing.
Like this one's fun because like you might have a challenge of I'm going to try to get on 2 rides during my marathon.
Right.
And like maybe you get on 2 rides during your marathon or like, so this one girl that I like was following, she does it every year and they have different outfits that match each day and they do different themed outfits. But she explains that the whole key is because like there are people that walk these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the key is you can't let the balloon ladies pass you. The balloon ladies are like
It's like the sweepers.
the sweepers who have these balloons off the back of their things. And as long as you are ahead of them, you can do whatever you want. So like what they try to do is they run out really early. Then they'll like walk, take photos with characters, whatever. And then they'll find out how far away the balloon ladies are. And then that will determine if they have to start running again or if they can get on another ride.
Are you going to do this?
No, I don't think so. But
No?
it's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
It was more so that it's just like as a runner, I think my brain just isn't wired this way. Like I think when you're doing these challenges, like maybe some people do it because they love running so much they want, but like the idea of doing a half marathon and a marathon the next day, like is absurd to me. Like, in a 5K and a 10K.
I would like to attempt something like
You
that.
could do I could do not just, I think anyone could do a 5K, then a 10K, then run a half. I think that's realistic because like you're not tired enough from a 10K that you can't do a half. It's a 5K, 10K half to a marathon.
It just like keeps going and you're already
crazy.
beat down.
You're already like
the
beating
marathon
down.
after that's a lot.
It's a lot.
But it would be a good mental test.
For sure.
Yeah, obviously a physical test. But
Obviously
like
a physical test, but mental test. But it's also like, I feel like these types of challenges, you're not doing them for like PRs and stuff. You're just doing
I feel
it.
like that's also pretty rare. I don't see any like other
Challenges
novel
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that where there's a little bit more.
And it's kind of cool. You
outside
get to run through Disney World. Like you run through Epcot, you run through, there's like Captain Jack Sparrow's on the side, like taking photos with people and cheering you on. And then they have like, it's kind of cool. Like it's different.
Do people dress up? Probably.
Yeah, people, like almost everyone dresses up. Like you dress up
probably.
in different costumes. Like this one girl who does it every year, she does all 4 and she dresses up in a different outfit every single day.
She's got to be like a serious runner to do this.
No, she's not.
No?
Because she's just doing it for the fun of
For
it.
the
Like
fun
they
of it.
stop, they take photos, they run.
I got to check out some of these Strava posts then. I want to see like what are the
Well,
times
I know
to do it?
that's
Are
like,
they, like
it'd
10
be
hours to
crazy.
do like
I have no idea.
That's sick. That's cool.
I was just, so my question
What does it
was,
cost,
would
do
you
you
ever
think?
do it? I've looked at it. It's a few $100, but not
Then you
crazy.
got to go flood down to Florida.
Yeah, but it's like,
Would I
not
do
crazy.
it? I would sign up for it.
You
Sure.
would do it. But this is the thing, like you training your brain, because you and I are similar in this way of like, when it comes to running, like, would you be able to like not do it for like racing, or would you be able to be like, oh, I'm gonna stop and walk? Because I don't think I could do that.
I think I would need like a team and
Yeah.
everyone's in it kind of together where like you're having fun on the rides and everything. Because if I was doing it alone and I was going for some kind of good pace and then I got like, oh, let me hop on this ride.
Like there are some people that run it to run like PRs. Like there are some people that do it
For sure. I
intensely.
would just want to get the most out of it and do
Yeah.
a ride. And then I would be halfway up the roller coaster and be like, oh God, I'm such an awful person.
Yeah.
I should be hop on the phone
I
with a
also wonder
therapist
though,
and-
like when I think about like running a marathon, and if I got off to get on a roller coaster, like would that not fuck with
if you
my
slam a
legs and
couple
body?
gels or something and
Yeah,
then
I
like
feel
do a
like
drop, like
It'd be
good luck.
crazy. Yeah, exactly. So I was
Yeah.
just, so you've never really seen them before. Interesting. But anyways,
No.
they do like them. They do a bunch of different races. I think they do like Run Disney does like 3 or 4 events a
I
year.
gotta check these out then.
They're actually, they look really cool. I would do one, but I don't think I would do the dopey. I don't think I would do 4. Like that's crazy.
I would like to do. I guess if it's at 4 a.m., it'd be dark outside too.
Yeah, it's
it'd
dark.
be cool if they do the fireworks show for it, like in the middle of the
They
night.
do fireworks like around
I know
the
they do
race.
every day. I want to.
and
Yeah,
everything.
I want that. I want to.
You
want
want
to race like the
fireworks?
fireworks are going the whole time. I'm just gonna listen to Coldplay's "A Sky Full of Stars" on repeat.
I love that for you.
Sarah, have you seen?
We're really switching. We're really switching gears here after a Run Disney race, aren't we? Go ahead.
No,
What
this
have I
one's gonna
seen?
this is gonna be positive.
What is it?
Sarah, have you seen? There's a lot of buzz about the incoming American President-elect Donald Trump. Actually, by the time this comes out, he might be inaugurated. So he's
Yes.
the new president. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this week.
I don't know what day inauguration day is.
The inauguration's happening. Donald Trump's going to be president. Everyone followed that election here in Canada pretty closely.
Yes.
I feel like it is not very well known that we definitely have an election this year in Canada. Mm-hmm. We might have an election as soon as
We will,
May.
probably.
It's not guaranteed, but
likely.
it's almost, it's probably
Almost
like 98%.
guaranteed. 98% is happening in May. And if not, it's happening in October. So it's,
Yeah, it's happening this year
Yeah.
regardless. It's probably happening in May. We don't know the exact date, what the schedule is going to be,
Correct.
when the non-confidence vote happens. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know this though. And I'm not here to say you got to vote for one party or the other, but I think that it's a good opportunity, especially when you've seen what's happened in the United States. And there's a lot of politically charged conversations that happen, a lot of potential rights that may be removed, both in abroad, but then also here in Canada. That I would say it's a good time to become politically educated.
1,000,000%.
And that doesn't mean let's just go out and vote for someone who's not going to be the antithesis of, you know, what you don't want. But it's becoming informed about what policies are important to you. And then also the other side of that is how can you become politically active as well? And I think that that's an easier thing to do than some people may think.
Yeah, so yes, I did see that there will be an election. It's like half of my like For You page and stuff like that is, and what drives me insane is like I think right now the consensus in Canada, and I mean like obviously like with Justin Trudeau stepping down, like we don't know like what this means and it changes things, but I think like a lot of people are sitting back and not being active, thinking like, oh well, it's just not going to be like what's going to be like an example, like it's going to be the Conservatives, like everyone's just like assuming. When like it's really dangerous when you start assuming things and like and sit back and like that's it, you know, like I just really don't like that we're just like sitting back and assuming.
I think also people oftentimes conflate like how the Americans vote for a president with what we do. And like one thing, it's like if you look at the polls, yeah, it's highly likely that it's gonna be a landslide in the Conservatives' favor here in Canada. However, we have a system where you can elect your MP, and that
It's really
depends on what your riding looks like.
Oh my God, well I need a new MP. My MP is the stupid guy that like oh my God, I literally am still holding a grudge about this. What happened was like in my riding, everyone does early voting. I was traveling, so I did early voting. And then it came out and that this guy gets dropped by the Liberal Party because he had like all these allegations against him, which turned out to be true. But everyone had early voted in my riding and we couldn't take back our vote. So then he got into office. I literally got his stupid mail today even, and I would like throw it in the garbage immediately. I don't even look at his face. And it was so infuriating. And he does nothing for my riding. So we need to go back. Like, it's crazy when you're like, you directly can see like the effects of it too. But yeah, it's very important. And I think we live in a place where there isn't also just two parties. So it's like the idea that it's like, oh, well, it's like put your hands back and just assume that it's going to go one way. Like you have a vote for a reason. If everybody thinks that way, then like
there's also a third party that has like been a linchpin in the whole system here for the last year.
I know. I know.
That's not to say that you should vote based on that.
And we're
but
not telling you, like, it's the thing is, it's like, I'll never tell anyone who to vote for. It's
if you are really aligned with, it's not my political views, but if you really align with the Conservative Party's values, 100% go and do it. I would say that like the more important thing is to be a politically active citizen. And a lot of that is informing yourself, but then also doing things like volunteering for your local candidate or donating if you can, encouraging others to get educated as well.
I also think like as much though, because we vote for our MPs, also just like maybe do like a little, like you also have to look at like the leaders and the party together and separately.
For sure.
Because like the parties, how they look now are not necessarily the same parties we were voting for 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And who the leaders are of those parties and who they have been endorsed by.
For sure.
So just make sure, like some far right activist group, far right groups. So just make sure you're taking a look at all angles of it. Is that like a really politically correct way?
I think that's totally fair. And also don't get discouraged by the fact if someone is going to be in power that you don't align with, that is maybe it's a scary thing for a lot of people, but it's also a time where we can use our own voices and make our own values known.
Live in Ontario? Well, we'll probably have to vote twice this year. So take the opportunity to look at both ways. How fun.
And I heard actually there's been a lot of talk. This is the other thing that actually is the have you seen?
Have you seen?
One of the biggest things post-American election is a lot of people are talking about podcasts and other digital media becoming a huge kind of target zone for political advertising.
Your probably was just on Jordan Peterson's podcast.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to come on our podcast,
we gladly have
we
you.
charge $500,000 for a 10-minute
it?
interview. I don't know how it works, honestly. I think more so, well, I'm sure people sometimes buy spots, but I think more so the reach is worth it for them.
Yeah, that's true.
I think a lot of people talking about like political advertising dollars are literally just like 30-second ad reads that might be placed automatically.
And they're doing it on podcasts
that they just do like media buys on podcasts. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, if anyone wants to advertise on our podcast. I'm kidding. But it's, I guess it's like if you look back to like Kamala like was on Call Her Daddy, was she not? Like, or she was offered the interview, and then like Trump also like reached out to Donald Trump to give him the opportunity to come. Like, you're even seeing that more, where it's like less of just the CNNs, the Foxes, the
100%.
CBCs, the traditional landscapes, and going directly to the ears and eyes of the people.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. Wow, it'd be crazy if we got a politician on here.
Should we get one? Should we get maybe. Chloe Brown?
I mean, I love Chloe Brown. I actually would. Okay, well, and I know you did see this because it's both of our industries. I just feel like it's I can't not talk about it because it's the only thing I'm thinking about all the time is, did you see? So this is complicated because like when we're recording this, like the ban hasn't been like in place yet for the TikTok ban in the United States. But did you see the like?
Oh, I followed it closely.
Yeah, did you like watch all like the lawyers and all their statements and all? I didn't follow it like super closely, but it is like all my For You pages is all the videos of the people saying goodbye. But what I was thinking about is, do you remember back in like 2020 when TikTok was initially going to get banned, like right away? Like I'm talking like middle of the pandemic, and then like the U.S. government's concern was like TikTok getting banned in the middle of the pandemic, and this was like April or May of 2020, and I remember like we all thought it was getting banned like at midnight or like the next day, and everyone was like panic making these videos, be like, follow me on Instagram, blah 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 blah. It feels like that right now. Like it feels like this weird doomsday, even though I know it's not like the app shuts down for Americans if it does go through. It just like will slowly like. Like they
fully said to remove it from the app stores.
No, I know, but if you still have it on your phone, it won't update anymore. So like eventually the app will stop working on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the app will eventually stop working on your phone, but you could, if you have it, it's like not going to be like a black and white, like hard, like it's going to be removed. But if you update your phone, then you won't be able to have it anymore.
And clearly advertising dollars will probably not go toward it.
Yeah, 100%. How are you feeling about it?
I feel okay. I'm feeling optimistic that it'll be,
good thing you're optimistic.
It'll still be a thing that it's around. At the end of the day, what I always go back to is that it's too big of a business right now. It's too massively, profitable that it would be strange for there not to be a resolution where it continues to exist in some fashion in the States. And whether that means it's temporarily banned and you can't use it on your phone or something like that for a little while, maybe. I think that's more so the debate that's happening right now of like what it looks like day one and what it looks like, how does it get resolved, where there's firm, this is what it's going to look like, or it's going to be totally gone.
For sure.
After that. And I think, I think it's worth too much that, Also, because one thing that might be positive here is that Trump has cozied up to so many billionaires that he might just want to sell it to one of his friends, or force a sale to one of his friends. The thing that complicates it is, we don't have to get too deep in the weeds here, but like Chinese-U.S. relations right now, not great. And if there's a huge tariff battle when Trump takes office, maybe this is a chip that they have that they don't want it to be sold to some kind of American entity.
Yeah, I know.
It's tough. I don't know. It's a lot of speculation right now.
Well, and also like what I've like been reading and like looking at is just because it does get banned this week does not mean that that's like forever. Like there are a lot of like if it goes through, like things can always be like reversed, or things can happen, or like literally Trump could come into office and like go, no, take it back, like you're re-putting it through the Supreme Court. Like there's so many things that can happen. Like it doesn't necessarily mean it's indefinite, which is kind of where my head's always been, because I agree. I do think like we will know once this is up, but like I do think the odds of them actually going like, yep, it's done on that date is high. But I wouldn't be surprised if then discourse happens where then like, you're right, more rules or regulations are built around it, or I don't know.
And the thing is too is that I feel like Trump also credits a lot of his success in the election to reaching audiences on social media and specifically TikTok. So it's hard to kind of like, I know he can't be elected president again, but he still wants to maintain his public persona post presidency, right? That he has, he's not totally walking all over that demographic that's going to lose their TikTok. Yeah,
but then did you see Zuckerberg over there go down to Mar-a-Lago?
Well, they're all cozying up to him at the course.
Because he wants it out, so then everyone just goes to Meta.
Sidebar, Mark Zuckerberg. Can we clip this? Mark Zuckerberg. I need to know who his stylist is and like how that conversation happens. Maybe it's Mark saying like, yeah, give me in this. But if it's the stylist recommendations and like, you're gonna look so sick if you have like a big gold chain over this like massive, like quadruple X. I'm wearing a big shirt here, but like over your like black t-shirt that like basically looks like Ed Hardy.
And he's like grown his hair out really long. Like it's like really curly now.
I was texting my brother and I was just like, it looks, because he's talking, there's a lot of controversy around Meta right now too with, they're going to remove third-party fact checkers and they're going to use something similar to community notes on X, which is, has its own issues. But I said, it's so funny to see like this huge founder of this company who runs arguably one of the biggest companies in the world, most influential companies, talking about something that's so serious, talking about public policy, talking about going down and meeting the incoming president. And he looks like he should be waiting outside of a Zoomies with his tech deck or something, like pulling off tricks 100%. And like hitting on like just people in the mall. You know what I mean?
I know. He looks like he works at Hot Topic.
Yeah.
It was like
it's
crazy.
So unserious.
No, I think that's like of what we've talked about in the past like 15. All of it, like it's unfortunate because it is very serious, but it all feels so unserious because it's like you're looking at it like, how is this our reality that we live in right now?
And listen, I get it. I'm not part of the like national defense team. Maybe there are legitimate threats for national security with apps, and I understand that. I just rewatched Snowden the other day, and I'm like, yeah, the United States was also spying on their own citizens. So I'm sure that this happens, and people have access to all this data.
But what I'm saying is, if it's been happening, then like, what else is there to know?
The funniest thing, do you see like saying goodbye to my Chinese spy? Like memes.
I was gonna say another girl made today, she goes, the Supreme Court says that China is stealing their data, but what if I give them my data? And it's like, I'm willingly giving them my data, and that's just being kind. And we talk about being kind, and I was like, that's so true.
Yeah, it's tough when it starts to like potentially credit it with influencing elections and things that are actually quite serious. However, I like my algorithm quite a lot.
We've spent 5 years developing our algorithms.
I know. I can't just throw that out.
We can't.
People are saying jump to all these other apps.
No.
People are talking
God. That's because, and then also people are like, this is great because now we all start from zero and now I get the chance to be an influencer on another app. Just like, that's not how this works.
If that's true though, I'm going to become a daily vlogger.
Okay.
Everyone go follow me on Lemonade or whatever.
On Lemonade. Okay, this is the issue. There's like 30 of them. There's like all these other ones. What's Neptune?
I've never even heard of that one.
People are like, I already saved my username on Neptune. I go, what?
Oh, come on.
You have to email them to save their username. I go, you're telling me that's not more dangerous?
Yeah, you have to like actually like text them some pics, some selfies of yourself.
And then you have to insert your PayPal information.
Yeah.
Like you're telling me that's not a bigger concern. Anyways, we'll
I don't
see.
know though.
Who knows what's going to happen? Also, I made a video yesterday and I said, look, my success on that app was out of my control and the demise of this app is out of my control. All I can do is post my silly little videos somewhere else and see if it works. And if
that's
it doesn't,
the other thing. It's just like we are not beholden to TikTok in our lives. It's so fun. I love my algorithm, but at the end of the day, if it evaporated, our business would not be gone. We'd figure something else out. If we need to be entertained, we'll go to another app or find another source of entertainment.
We need to be the entertainers.
Would I like it to be figured out and there to be no national defense potential threats, and I could have my amazing algorithm and maybe like high five my Chinese spy through the phone without having too much sensitive data taken? 100%. But like, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I want you to end on a happier note.
I do have a little bit of a happier note. I was checking out. I feel like New Year, early January, a lot of people are putting out just like lists of how to live a happier, healthier life. One first tip is obviously only bite off as much as you can realistically chew, and probably just a little bit less than is going to make you feel overwhelmed. Don't try to like totally reinvent yourself, I would say, in the first couple of weeks or first month of the year. But they had some easy tips on the New York Times health tips for 2025. One that stood out to me though, because I can get so bogged down by this, was no complaining. So someone was like, I just try to not complain for a whole week, which seems very difficult to me. But that's anything. That's like you get cut off in traffic, don't complain about it. If like you lose a job, a big thing, don't complain about it. Little stuff.
Wait, is there like scientific proof that this like deteriorates your brain or something? No complaining? Or is it just like...
I think it's tough to maybe prove that scientifically, but I would say, I think the idea is to retrain your brain to have more positive outcomes, instead of snap decision, as opposed to having, the world's against me kind of decisions.
Interesting. That's
when something happens.
Okay, I actually like that. I'm going to try that. I'm really judgy and I can
Let's just try it for like a day.
I complain all the time.
I complain in my head. I complain in my head too.
I know. So that's the thing. I don't outwardly complain.
You're not like on the streetcar being like, it's fucking.
Or I'm not like airing out my beef on the internet, complaining all the time. But do I complain a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean yeah to you. I mean yeah to me as well.
We were complaining before this episode started about other people.
But here's the other thing too, is that complaining, I was trying to think about it too. I was like, complaining takes up so much of your time.
Yeah.
Because when you're thinking about something, imagine we just had a conversation before recording this. It took 2-3 minutes and we wasted 2-3 minutes of our life complaining about someone who we're probably not going to work with again because they annoy us. Yeah, how about just like focus on something that's going to be a good, positive thing for us?
This goes into what my final, did you see was going to be, is Mel Robbins released a book of the let them theory. So that this feels similar.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you know the let them theory?
Yes.
Okay, for those that don't know, the let them theory is like this thing that Mel Robbins, I don't know if she like developed it, like she really made it famous. She has podcasts and everything, and the whole theory, and I really started to do this year, and I'm like actively in 2025 making it like my whole mantra, is let them. And it really helps you if you're like me and you like love control, or like you get really stressed about like what other people are doing or like how other people are acting, just let them do it. It's like if someone's not responding to a text message of yours and they're ignoring you or any of those things, okay, let them. You can't do anything about it. You can't control other people. If they're going to talk about you, let them gossip.
Do you feel that? But I've sometimes, if say text from, for example, it's like, I want an answer in the next like hour and I don't get it. I like physically have a buzz.
Or like if a friend hasn't responded to you in a bit and you like see them on social media though, so you think that they're mad at you, or like
you create
whatever,
all
you
sorts
create
of
all
stories.
these things. You just have to like let them do their thing. Like literally it's caused such a like relief for me of the let them theory.
It's also so hard to do though.
It's very hard to do, and I literally had to do it as recent as today, and just have to be like, just let them do the thing, let them be that way, let them act the way that they want to act. But it does free your mind. So like you said about the complaining and how much time you take up complaining about things. So like complaining, like if you just reverse that with like the let them theory. So like we were complaining about the way someone was like speaking to us over email today. Okay, well, like let them act like that. Like they're the ones that are acting that way, not us. It's not a reflection on who we are as people. So just let them.
Yeah.
And then when you don't complain about it, then we don't waste our time.
And then we're ending up we didn't waste our time. We're now talking to someone that we actually enjoy talking
and it also
to who
doesn't
wants
take
to
up
be there.
that brain capacity, that energy.
Yeah.
Because when you think about like how much you complain in a day, because I think complaining and the let them theory goes hand in hand. When you think of how much you complain in a day, or you think woe was me, or you stress about other people and things that you cannot control, think of how much energy that takes. And then like when you're tired at the end of the day because you feel like you use so much brain capacity, this or that, if you just had gone like water off a duck's back, like let them do that, let them think whatever they want, then you have all that free space to maybe be more creative or have more opportunities or that energy of bringing other things in.
Yeah, I like that. Water off a duck's back too.
Yeah, isn't that good?
I'm going to use that.
I know, it's good. I have to really think about it when I'm saying
Did you make
it.
that up or is that
No, it's a
saying?
saying. It's a saying. Because like a duck's back goes whoop.
Okay, yeah.
Get it?
Okay, yeah. And they're in water. So
And they're
who
in water,
cares?
so it goes multiple ways. I really enjoyed our little
that was
discussion
good.
here. You know, like we gotta like work on some kinks, but
Hold on, in Sarah's broadcast channel, let us know
if
what
you
you
liked
thought about
this concept, if you liked the idea of us like bringing forward some things to talk about, because we could talk about everything from politics to Disney running.
Well, yeah, like especially if you have other topics that you'd want to hear
our thoughts on,
or if you have like good health tip articles, send them our way.
send them our way. Thank you so much for listening. We are so excited for another season, another year. We're toddlers now, so we've learned to walk. What do 2-year-olds do? I don't know.
Well,
so Willow
my niece just got the update that she's full in learning how to potty, whatever.
That
potty
too?
trained,
That's
I
what
guess.
happens
I
at
don't
2?
know.
All right, good to know. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of the good things, especially, if we're going to disappear off your For You page. So with that being said, I've been Sarah. That's been Jacob. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.